The focus of the world is in India for its young demography profile and exceptional talent pool, which leads to entrepreneurial opportunities in abundance, and innovation has become the need of the hour. With this context, let me invite the multifaceted personality and an avid social worker, Dr. Nandini Rangaswamy, Director, Founder Trustee Chandra Group, to deliver the opening address on innovation and entrepreneurship, the inseparable twins that empower India. She was the former director then Lakshmi Bank, Director Magna Electra Costing Limited. She also contributed to the society by her active participation in various social organizations. So ladies and gentlemen, let's invite her with a huge round of applause to get ourselves enlightened on innovation and entrepreneurship.
Mr. Lakshmi Narayan, Dr. Manikam, Mr. Purushothaman, Mr. Shivakumar, members of the academic community gathered here. Good morning to all of you. I am happy for this opportunity to be a part of this ICTACT Bridge 2014, and I really am grateful to ICTACT for having this program every year in Coimbatore, giving a great opportunity for our Coimbatore academic community to participate. I have chosen to talk on entrepreneurship and innovation, and I will give a few important dimensions relating to this topic. All of us are aware that entrepreneurship and innovation are perhaps the most important emerging engines of economic growth in a globalized world. The world's largest economy, the United States of America, with a GDP of about 17 trillion US dollars, is based almost entirely on a free spirit of entrepreneurship, of free enterprise and unbridled entrepreneurship. China, with a GDP of about 8 trillion US dollars, is also based on its own version of entrepreneurship, fostered and encouraged by the state. Compared to the two leading economies of the world, in India, the true spirit of entrepreneurship emerged. I'm saying this at a national level because in smaller towns, there were great entrepreneurs, especially in Coimbatore. We had a lot of entrepreneurs. We have entrepreneurs even sitting in this very hall. Their fathers were entrepreneurs. But at the national level, in the early 1980s, Dhirubhai Ambani, Narayan Murthy, and others paved the way. After the onset of our economic liberalization in 1991, we have witnessed a spectacular growth in the number of new entrepreneurs and enterprises, particularly in the services sector. So what is entrepreneurship? Peter Drucker in 1970 said that entrepreneurship was something called risk. Frank Knight, way back in 1921, had already identified uncertainty as defining an entrepreneurial character. According to Knight, there were three types of uncertainty: risk, which is measurable; ambiguity, hard to measure; and true uncertainty, which is impossible to estimate or predict statistically. The acts of entrepreneurship are often associated with true uncertainty, particularly when it involves bringing something really novel into the world, where in a market that never existed before. In management literature, there are some common characteristics associated with entrepreneurs. According to the experts in the field, entrepreneurs are primarily motivated by an overwhelming need for achievement and a strong urge to build. They are tough, pragmatic people, driven by needs of independence and achievement. They may be classified into four types: the innovator, the calculating inventor, the over-optimistic promoter, and the organization builder. I would like to share with you some of the experiences in my own personal entrepreneurial journey. I was married young into a family that had interests in diverse fields like business, education, and social service. My mother-in-law, who had already become a successful educationist, used to take me along and train me. Observing her style of working and managing people, I learnt a lot. My entry into business 2 decades ago proved a major challenge for me because I had no qualifications to take me through the nuances of the business world. But I had her to guide me, and I did imbibe a lot from her style of working, which helped me start some new businesses in the family. My success as an entrepreneur can also be attributed to balancing work and life. Any successful businesswoman has to learn to give equal attention to her domestic chores and her corporate life. The policy, especially my policy of never carrying home work from the workplace, has really helped me achieve a perfect balance between the two. There is a lot of diplomacy required in handling the demands of home and the workplace, and by experience, each of us, I'm sure, can learn to do it. People often confuse between the terms creativity, innovation, and invention. To my mind, creativity is the capability or act of conceiving something original or unusual. Innovation is the implementation of something new, and invention is the creation of something that has never before been made and is recognized as the product of some unique insight. So if you brainstorm and dream up dozens of new ideas, then you have displayed creativity. But there is no innovation without implementation. Somebody has to take a risk and deliver something for a creative idea to be turned into an innovation. An invention might be a product or device or method that has never existed before. So every invention is an innovation, but every innovation is not an invention. We tend to think of an innovation as a new product. No, but you can innovate with a new process, a method, a business model, a route to market, etc. Indeed, every aspect of a business operation is a good candidate for innovation. Peter Drucker had said, every organization must prepare for the abandonment of everything it does. So do not restrict your vision of innovation to products only. Some of the most powerful innovations you can make are in business methods and customer services. If we look at companies like Dell, eBay, Amazon, and others, we see that their great innovations were with their business models rather than in the new products. Innovations can either be incremental or radical. Every improvement that you make in products or services can be seen as incremental innovation. Most businesses and most managers are good at incremental innovations. They see problems in the current setup and they fix them. Radical innovations involve finding an entirely new way to do things. As such, they're often risky and difficult to implement. On a lighter vein, I would like to ask you, when did you last see a typewriter? When did you last play a gramophone record or a video cassette? Or when did you last listen to the diode-powered Murphy radio? All these products were killed by later innovations. The name that comes to my mind readily is Steve Jobs of Apple, who revolutionized the mobile phone and ended the supremacy of the world leader Nokia. So the real question, therefore, is how do we foster entrepreneurship at college level, given the common characteristics I described earlier? Typically, colleges are engaged in imparting knowledge and to some limited extent, skills. The entrepreneurial characteristics do not fall fully into these two, but a third dimension, namely attitude and aptitude. So in the language of management education, we would call this being, while knowledge is about knowing and skill is about doing. To foster entrepreneurship at college level, we would need a complete reorientation of our own mindsets and our teaching learning systems and processes. Unless the institutions themselves are constantly in an innovative mode, and unless the faculty are entrenched in a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship, it would be difficult for us to foster this spirit in our students. Fostering this among our students is an experiential process, learning by active experimentation and conceptualization. Classrooms will be needed to be turned into laboratories of entrepreneurial motivation. Theories ought to be limited and practice to be provided for more opportunities. Live examples of successful organizations actively involved in promoting a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship need to be discussed, analyzed, and understood in the classrooms. Why should entrepreneurship be fostered in students or nurtured in colleges? There are many reasons. As I said earlier, it is one of the primary emerging engines of economic growth. With technology increasingly governing the way we live and work in a globalized world, we need to find ways and means to create a large number of job providers rather than job seekers. We need to provide opportunities to the emerging youth to expend their creative energies in productive ways. We need to create an ecological system that is sustainable, and we need to create leaders with a deep sense of service to the society. Call them, if you like, social entrepreneurs. The trend is already evident in India. There is an increase in the number of graduates in engineering and management taking up social entrepreneurship. So, let us work together with industry to ensure that students who specialize in entrepreneurship are not considered ineligible for placement just for the fear that they may not continue long in the organization. Let us encourage them, that is, let us, I mean industry, encourage them at least as a part of the industry CSR initiative. Let educational institutions that consciously nurture and encourage innovation and entrepreneurship as a part of their regular curriculum be recognized and rewarded. Let each educational institution lay down a policy that a minimum number or percentage of students should take up entrepreneurship upon their graduation, and let this policy be intertwined into the institutional performance appraisal system. Let students who take up entrepreneurship as a specialization be financially rewarded, and finally, let institutions be encouraged to work closely with organizations like ICTACT, NASSCOM, CII, NEN, TIE, and similar industry organizations to nurture and promote innovation and entrepreneurship in their campuses. So with this, let me conclude, thanking ICTACT and NASSCOM once again for the opportunity given to me to share some of my thoughts with all of you today. I hope that today's proceedings will also culminate in a lot of productive takeaways for everyone gathered here. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Dr. Nandini Rangaswamy, for the thought-provoking speech, giving us the energy for the day.